Hi everyone, welcome to the trading room. My name is Sol, glad to be with you. Welcome to the trading room. As always on Mondays, we're gonna do a review and a forecast for the long-term opportunities on our major pairs, gold and silver as well. I'm gonna do some input on the markets. Before we get started, please, as always, change on your chat settings so everyone can see what you type, not only host and panelists. That way would be more friendly and interesting for everyone. That first. And second, remember to quick risk disclaimer. This is not meant to be buy or sell signals. This is just the way I see the markets and I read the markets and I approach trading. So anything I show here is not meant to be buy or sell signals. So please be careful and responsible for your own trading. And with that being said, let's jump here into the charts. Just quick announcement just before we start with the major pairs. If you go to the trading resources on our website and you go to trading tools, you get to this page, and here you have at the bottom of the page, if you forgot or you need to re-download your platform, empty platform, so you can do it right from here. You don't need to contact support or anything. And there are 3 indicators that will help you out with your trading. So just go ahead, try them out. This is for the first one is your max lot calculation. So, you know, we have different leverage on our account. So there's some 1 to 6 accounts, 1 to 10 accounts, like the bootcamp accounts, and 1 to 30 accounts, like the aggressive accounts. So sometimes if you're not sure how much lot size you can place on a trade, so that will help you. That will just show you how much can you allocate depending on the currency pair. So that's really cool. The risk exposure, it just shows you how much risk have you allocated already on each one of your pairs, to know how much you're exposed. And the dragon trade is this one. I'll show you once we go to the platform. I'll show you how to use it. I think it's a very cool one. Okay, so Tenzin, I'll show how to use it. Actually, it's not working. Still not working on gold and silver, this one, but we're working on it. So it also executes trades on gold and silver. Okay, but so just have fun with those. I think they will be very useful. Now, on what we're gonna do today, we're gonna talk about the dollar index. We're gonna see how is the dollar behaving against a basket of currencies. Then we'll go to the economic calendar to see if there's any relevant news or event this week that we need to be aware. And then we'll go to the trading platform and we'll analyze the major pairs and gold. So let's start with the dollar index. Now, what always amazed me is the fact that, you know, these areas and lines and everything, I drew them time ago, okay, weeks ago, and I'm just amazed every time to see how price reacts to those areas, okay, which are key levels in the market. It's just demand and supply areas and support and resistance levels that the market reacts to them. So weeks ago, we were analyzing this breakout right here. And the continuation, okay, this was a very solid breakout, creating 2 new demand areas. The one at the bottom of this huge candle, this large green candle, and the second area was the breaking area. Okay, if you go to lower time frames, you will see the breaking area itself created a new demand area, and from there we passed. And we were weeks moving sideways, just sideways, and then deciding if the market will eventually break higher and create a pole, flag pole, okay, a raise base raise a pattern, or a base or a raise base drop pattern. finally, this consolidation, this sideways movement broke to the downside and retested the demand area, the breaking area, okay, the past breaking area. This, past resistance is now working as support, or this was previously supply. It created a new demand area, and we visited it there, and we're just reacting to that. And the big question right now is, where is this heading? Correct. So let's watch closely this area, okay, the breaking area to the downside, to see how that formed, how powerful was the breakout. Okay, and we can see the breakout there. Okay, so the breakout created a new supply area. So this movement right now going up, I'm not sure, but quite certain it will go to that new supply area and react. Okay, now the reaction might be sideways movement or a pullback, okay, a retracement. So the next movement from this area right there is down. Now the big question is down and continuing down. Okay, so we're going to that level. Okay, so we're going to react there and continue lower. Okay, and that would create right here a lower high than this one. So we have a high, and this would create a lower high, and the first sign of a reversal pattern, which would be a lower high. Correct? We have a lower low, but we haven't created yet a lower high. So that's what I'm expecting. Or will we move, I don't know, something like that, just in order to go all the way up, okay, or continue higher? Because we have a lot of fundamentals going on. I mean, the trend is still up, correct? We haven't broken that trend, but this break lower might be the first attempt to reverse the trend. Okay, so we have in one hand the inflation report from last week that created the break lower, but we also have the expectancy, or we're waiting for increments in the interest rates, okay, twice during this week on the USD. So we have that conflict and that battle going on between a strong dollar or a weak dollar. But right now, the next trade is a little short. Okay, I don't think we will just go and penetrate this supply area without any reaction. So right now, my next trade on the dollar index would be to sell this area, and then to see if we continue higher or we're forming a new lower high to continue lower. Okay, so during the week we will be more informed. We'll have new and better information to see how do we approach approach this market. And before we jump into the major pairs to see how is the dollar now behaving against each one of the pairs, let's just quickly look at the economic calendar. Today wouldn't have much. In fact, it's a holiday in the US, Martin Luther King, so quiet day. Tomorrow, just be aware, look out at the report. We do not expect in the yen, Japanese yen, we do not expect a change in the policy rate, the interest rate. But look at the report, okay? Because from there, a lot of traders will have a kind of hints if the yen is going to get even stronger, or will start to get even weaker, or it will start to get a little bit stronger. Okay, now we'll see that in the USD JPY chart. What else do we have? Wednesday, CPI on the pound, with not a lot of surprise expected. So just be careful of volatility, but shouldn't be a lot of a major trend reversals or something. CAD, we'll see how it looks on the chart on the CPI. Employment in Australia Okay, we expect a much lower employment. So a lot of unemployment going on there. We'll see how that looks on the chart as well. But have a look and be aware of this announcement on Thursday on the AUD. And I guess that's it. So this one's an important one, AUD on Thursday, and the outlook on tomorrow on the JPY. Okay, so just be aware of that. Now let's jump into the platform. And let's go through the majors. Let me see if I can. Let me show you. Once you download the indicator to your platform, it will just show here. So it just, if you drag and trade, you drag it. You need to allow these two ones. Okay. In fact, this algo trading needs to be on. Okay, that's very important. Now. Okay, let's see how this works. Now, you have different trades you can place. So you can place market orders, limit orders, or stop orders. So let's say you want to do a buy limit. Okay, so once you click on buy limit, the blue line will be your entry line. Okay, the red one will be your stop loss line, and the green one will be your take profit. So the take profit is not as important right now. We want to measure our risk based on the stop loss. So if I want to, for example, if I want to get into a buy limit order over there, and I want my stop loss, let's say there. Just give it a second just to adjust automatically. And I want to risk, okay, this is the important part. I want to risk, let's say, 0.5% of the account. Okay, so based on the distance between my entry point and my stop loss, that will calculate how much will be how much lot size needs to be risked on the account. So just click submit and places the order for you. Okay, in this case is 0.05 lot size in order to risk 0.5% on this trade. Okay, so it's a very useful tool. Okay, so you have it there. Okay, so let's start with the. So Jason, the second and third, it's for different take profits. So you can place. It automatically plays the order. So if you place market orders, yes, it will execute an order. But if you place a limit or stop orders, it will just place the trade just as you said, okay, as a limit order. Okay, and the second and third, Jason, is if you want to have different take profits or more than one order at a time. So you can place 3 different trades at a time. Okay, so it's called drag and trade. So just go to the trading tools and download it. You'll have it on drag and trade. Important, it would only work on your MT5 platform. So if you try to run this on these indicators on your broker accounts, it will not work. Okay, that's an important side note to be aware of. Okay, so Euro USD usually looks like a mirror of the dollar index. So we can see the sharp movement down, the dollar strengthening against the euro, sideways movement for a long time, and finally last week, and we trade together. In my trading room on Wednesday, we were trading this breaking day. So we have the breaking point. Let's just, okay. Now, if we go and see how the break formed, okay, look at the hourly. Okay, you can see the break itself created a new demand. Okay, so once prices goes and visit the demand area, the breaking point, expect a reaction to the upside. Now on the larger time frame, on the larger pattern, this will be a retest of the breaking area. So this is a very common pattern: break, retest, and continuation. Okay, so we moved from this consolidation, we stopped at that resistance level. Now we're reacting, and my trade, what I'll be looking for is to buy these demand areas. So I'll wait for price to reach those areas, and I'll start building on long positions. This is a very common pattern. Okay, so that's my I want it. Okay, so for me on the Euro USD, I'll be looking for buying position based on this demand area. Michelle, that's also equals highs and break of market structure on H4, maybe more downside. Rise and break of market structure on MT5. I'm not sure what you mean. I do agree the trend is still down. Okay, we have a lot of pressure to the downside, but my next trade needs to be a buy trade. Okay, I agree. This might, same as we saw on the dollar index, we might see a reaction from this demand and then continuation lower. That's a possibility. But my very next trade it's a buy based on the demand area. How long will I hold it? I don't know. Depend on price action to see if this continues higher, this reverses the overall trend, or just a reaction and then continuation lower. Okay, to continue this downtrend. But do remember, we are in a very high volume area, trading area. Okay, so it will be difficult to break these levels to the downside. I think there will be a lot of, because if we break those levels right there, there's nothing here, okay, to stop a sharp movement down. I think there's a lot of interest on keeping price kind of balanced. So I don't expect a break of these levels, not soon, not without an important fundamental announcement. So yes, there's a lot of selling pressure, but I want to be, my very next trade is a buy. Okay, that's at least my view on the market. Similar on the pound. Again, this is a hard pattern to trade, because we are respecting kind of there's supply. Okay, so supply, we're reacting to supply. There is pin bars and tails in the bottom, so we are moving. We're trying to move lower, but we come from this very aggressive up movement, and down here we had the raise of interest increasement on interest rates in the UK that caused all this movement. So I don't expect a full retracement, okay, like that. So I do want to see market come back a little bit, okay, to reverse a little bit, but I want to start building into long positions. Okay, that's at least the way I read the market. I see a lot of pressure. There was kind of compression back here. So that compression, once met this supply, that was a good opportunity to pull back. And once that didn't happen, it tells me there's more buying pressure. Okay, so more buyers coming into the market. So now this area has become a demand area. So once the price retraces towards that demand area right there, I want to look for buying opportunities. And probably after that happened, probably then, and depending on how price is created, okay, probably from there we will continue lower. But my very next trade is to wait for price to pull back a little bit deeper, and then to buy buy this market, okay, the continuation up. Even when I do see, you know, a lot of a channel, a down channel, my very next trade is a buy order, okay. So that's for the pound. Now look at the yen. We spoke about the outlook coming on and the report on the yen is tomorrow, I guess. And we have different and mixed patterns here on the yen. It's a very interesting, it's forming very interesting. We had a couple of weeks ago, we had the break of this high right there, create, okay, the breaking area created a demand that was tested and failed, okay, to continue higher. So this, okay, that was the break, retest of the breaking area, and this tail, you can see this stage right there, had the opportunity to continue higher. And instead of that, sellers came into the market and pushed the market all the way down. So that form, and probably we can see that better on a lower time frame. You know, kind of, you know, that was the attempt to continue higher, and then that failed and all the way down. Now this has created now a swap zone. It was a demand, okay, now it has become a supply. You can see the fresh supply right here. So now if we see market going to towards that supply, I want to be a seller from that supply. But of course, we're reacting to demand back here, form a very nice, you know, bullish signal. It's a pin bar. If you go and look closely at that pin bar, let's go to the hourlies. Okay, you can see the pin bar was actually created like a Quasimodo, a reverse inverse or Quasimodo. We were forming lower highs and lower lows, and we broke this high right there. Okay, we broke it right there. We didn't have the pullback, but we created an inverse Quasimodo. So this is a reversal pattern, and this figure structure is a reversal pattern on the hourly, which looks like a pin bar on the daily. So we expect bullish movement. So if we come back down, I do expect now reaction from this demand towards that supply area, and from there I want to be a seller. So so we have buying area and we have selling area right there. Right now, middle of the range, not much to do, but if we go towards that area, I want to sell. If we will go down to this area, I want to buy. That's my view, and we can see, you know, mixed signals, both buying and selling signals. This is all the indecision as we approach tomorrow's report, and we will finally create a new pattern or a new trend. Okay, from here we can we could see a continuation higher because, you know, the momentum is still up, but this was a very deep pullback. This movement down was a very deep one. This could create, you know, a lower high and then reverse and a reversal pattern. Okay, let me see the so just keep an eye open for tomorrow, okay, to see how that forms. Now look at the AUD USD, and we're expecting the unemployment, okay, and the slowing down on the economy. So we do kind of see the Australian dollar getting stronger, but on a very weak way, correct? We don't see the same movement as we see on the pound, okay? Compared to this movement, okay, a sharp movement up. You can see how this strengthening has been very weak, correct? Very slow. So we are forming a channel, probably a divergence. Let me double check that, okay? Because we are forming, technically, we're forming higher highs right here. But let me see if any indicator sees what my eyes see, which is a divergence. Let me double check that. I usually check that with either MACD or relative strength index. So let me check that one. Okay, that's one. And Where's MACD? Okay, so we have these highs, and actually on the dollar index, on the relative strength index, we are also forming. Okay, there's no divergence here, kind of flattening here. Okay, so no there. And also in the MACD, I don't see the divergence here, but I do see them. You know, I do see the divergence. I mean, I see how these highs are not getting, you know, significantly higher. So I don't expect this to continue higher. If any, if we push higher one more time, we will meet this supply, and then I expect a movement down. Okay, let me get rid of these indicators. Of course, we have the demand. So if price reaches this area, that's a great buying opportunity. But until then, even if I see a movement up, okay, that will meet supply, and from there I'll be looking to sell, and it aligns with the you know, the unemployment increasing in Australia, and the divergence I do see here. I couldn't double check it or back it up with indicators, but I see the channel, okay, forming here. So I want to be more bearish than bullish on this one. Kiwi, kind of nothing. Lots of sideways. I don't have a clear analysis here. We have a lot of sideways movement. I need more information to decide whether it's going up or down. So on the sidelines on this one, USD CAD. We have tails on demand, but a lot of selling pressure right here. Okay, we completed this, you know, reversal pattern, reacting to demand. Let me see if we have supply, clear supply back here. Let me go to a lower time frame. Okay, so bullish right now, but I will be selling that supply and that supply. Okay, that was also an old support, broke. Now it should act as resistance. But the overall, you know, the overall pattern is a very sideways one, a very choppy one. So we can kind of safely trade both sides. So as we stay in the bottom part, I'm more inclined to buy. But once we start reaching the high size, I wanna look for selling opportunities. Now this one, I want to wait for price to reach to those areas and then look for price action or price pattern to tell me to start going short. I won't do this on, you know, blindly. Let's look at gold. Gold is very. Let me show you gold on TradingView. It will be easier. Let me go back to TradingView. So I want to show you. You know, gold looks like trapped. If we go to the weeklies. Okay, we're forming this wedge, okay, this triangle, which of course in technical analysis is very easy to say this will either break to the upside or to the downside. We have no idea which direction will it break. Fundamentally, I kind of always rather being bullish bias on gold. So I feel more comfortable buying gold and selling gold. But I don't think that's going to happen until we see a correction on the stocks. You know, we're as long as we're forming higher highs and historical highs on the US market, on the stock market, there's no reason why going to hold to the gold market, correct? To a safe haven asset like the gold. But the fact that the commodities are so high, okay, inflation is around the corner, at least in the US. There's a commodities index price in the US. So, you know, as inflation starts to kick in, and once we see a correction, okay, even a pullback, it doesn't has to be a crisis or a crash or something, but a little pullback on the US stocks, I think money will flow into the gold market and silver market, and we will see a break out of this structure. So right now, if I was really urged to trade the gold, I rather being selling, okay, based on resistance, or if we go up based on this supply, the 180 50 1850 1860 area, I want to be shorting. But after that movement, when we have a down movement, I want to start buying around these levels, okay, 1720, or down here, okay, at 17 levels. Guys, any other pair you usually trade, you want to review together? It's a Eurocad, pound, New Zealand. Okay, so let's go to the market. Let's go to the charts. Pound yen. Let's look at those. Okay, look at what's Eurocad has been very choppy. I follow this pair. I don't trade it a lot, but I've been following it. And this kind of formation, it's a compression one, correct? You see a lot of choppy movement, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Let's see if we can see it clearer on the 4-hour chart. Okay, you can see a lot of up and down movement, not clear direction. But we failed to react to this demand area. Okay, so we are around that area, but buyers are not coming into the market to buy the euro against the CAD. However, we are forming this compression. We are facing, okay, we are about to test these new tiny demands formed there. So this could easily, break to the upside, since all supply back here has been consumed. My view, I'm short pin bar until Edward. So you're short until 142.50. Yeah, so you're targeting this area, which is great. Okay, you're short and you're fine. I'm always thinking on the next move in the market, correct? On the next big move. There is a chance compression ends up breaking towards the same direction it's forming, okay, and penetrating two demand areas back here. But usually, statistically, most of the times, compressions break to the other side, okay, since supply has been consumed back here, once it meets demand, it turn around. So just my next movement, I would be expecting to be a buy movement. Okay, of course, you know, that's a 60-40% or a 65-35% of happening, and there's always a possibility to continue lower. It's a good idea also to look at how the CAD is behaving, or the crude oil is behaving, to see how is the CAD being influenced by oil prices, and then decide. I know it's very strong right now, but just technically speaking, these compressions tend to break to the other side. It's not, however, it's not a market or a price pattern or whatever, or something I like. So myself, I'm on the sidelines for this one. Pound yen, let me see if I have pound yen here. Pound yen. Okay. Pound yen, it looks similar, like we can clearly see here the pound movement. Okay, if you compare that to the pound dollar movement, okay, this V shape, we kind of see it also in the pound yen. So we have the yen report coming up, so I'm not certain on where's this facing, but simply looking at this formation, I want to be more buying, okay, more bullish. We had this supply back here. Okay, look at this supply. Okay, there was no reaction to it. Okay, we tested and there was no reaction, but there was a break. So now that will behave as demand area, and we have made a full retracement. So right now we're basing, okay, price could pull back, okay, deeper, but I will be looking to buy the market. So if you're not buying, you can start buying. Okay, there's, you know, this reaction, this tail might be continuation. Targets, scalp target there. This is a very, like a historical. Okay, I'm not sure we're going to break those levels, because if we break those levels, we have a lot of room to run. But I would expect another test, okay, of those levels. And if this continues going lower, I would keep my bullish bias, okay, as long as we stay above the demand area. So I'll be looking for buying opportunities. That's my view. And there was pound New Zealand, I guess. Which very similar. This is all the same pound movement. Okay, the V movement. Let me see, where are we regarding highs? Pound New Zealand is a very balanced pair. You can see moves a lot of time sideways. Key resistance right now, where it is a clear resistance, but it is kind of the middle of the range. So if I was trading, you know, approaching this as consolidation, that's the worst place to be trading, because you are in the middle of the range. Okay, you always want to be buying the bottoms or selling the tops. Right now, this is a tiny kind of a consolidation inside the consolidation. But if we do break that and we move towards the upper part of the large range, that will be an interesting one to see. I'm not aware of New Zealand fundamentals right now. I haven't been following, but we clearly have the potential, at least fundamentally, for the pound to make a break. Okay, to do a break here, since they already increased interest rates surprisingly, and that could break these highs and potentially continue higher. So either if we pull back, I would still be looking to buy this market. Okay, that's for the pound New Zealand. Tenzin, one more question regarding which amount, risk, or position is being calculated as initial balance or current balance of the account. It takes into account actual balance for the calculation. Not initial balance, but actual balance. Bendua, current balance, that's the problem. Why is that a problem? And our new studio looks great. Yeah, thank you. We're very happy, excited. The sounds good, looks good. It's nice. For the bootcamp, yeah, you need to take that into account for the bootcamp, because there's the 1% restriction based on the initial balance. So do be aware of that. That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good one. But just tune your risk, so you risk a little bit less than the 1%, and you'll be safe. And of course, instant funding programs, they will have no problem with that. Okay, guys, I think we're good to wrap up. So thank you very much, everyone, for coming and for staying. Nice group. And be aware of fundamentals announcement during this week. Stay safe and happy trading, everyone. See you next week.